Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. An early day here because I'm on a paid vacation. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, and it is Big T. What the hell was that last night by your Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Well, 9-0, ugly game. First time Tom Brady has been shut out in 255 starts. Chris Godwin goes out of the game. We'll talk about that in just a little bit because there was some breaking news today. Mike Evans goes out of the game. Leonard Fournette goes out of the game. And all chances go out of the game and out the door for the Bucs to beat the New Orleans Saints. So disappointing effort, disappointing injury situation that happened last night. We'll talk to you about it. I want to calm you Bucs fans down. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Again, how do we start off the Sports Web? Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Where is my Rolex? You, my friend, don't have a Rolex, but you have this.
Shitter!
All right, somebody is calling. Hold the line here. Stand by. Let's go ahead and go out to our guest right now. Let's get his walk-up music on. Here we go. That music means Mr. Harry the Greek of 1252 Sports, professional handicapper extraordinaire. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, a early edition as we got football here within the hour. Yes, sir. I see the cat right there. We got some comments, so we'll get out to them. But your thoughts on this disappointing game on Sunday night? Once again, the Saints have our number. Welcome to the Evolution.
Number one, thank you for the great intro. Love the Greek music. And as the Greek always says, oppa, oppa. I want to give a shout out to my brother Bill up there in Savannah, Georgia. My beautiful sister-in-law, Miss Chung. Call me Tina. I don't know what her name is anymore, but it's Chung, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I can't call her anything but Chung, Bill, okay? I just can't do it. I'm sorry. Peter, what a disappointing loss that was yesterday. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of feel bad. I mean, I announced that New Orleans was going to have 3 field goals in the game and no touchdowns. Really?
That's exactly what happened last night. And, to the defense's respect, if you will, I thought they played very well, considering the offense basically gave them nothing. I tell you what, let's hold off on that. Let's go ahead and go out to our phone calls really quick. Get this guy on the lead off the evolution of sports talk television. Here we go. All right, Ed from Palm Harbor, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry, the Greek professional handicapper extraordinaire of 1252 Sports. Go. Hold on a sec. I don't know what's going on here. Stand by.
His
Stand
gain
by.
is down.
Hold on. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know why it's not connecting for some reason. Hold on.
You're not plugged in, Peter.
I'll stand by. I'll tell you what. Let's take
Go to a commercial.
Yeah, a little commercial really quick here from I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
All right, welcome back here to the evolution of sports talk television. Ed, are you there? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on here with my sound. Stand by, guys.
Tampa Bay Bucs Super Bowl 55 champ Shaq Barrett coming at you live at NSPN Next Gen Sports. Go like and follow NSPN for total coverage of all team and combat sports, live shows, plus exclusive player interviews and unprecedented sports content creation.
Aren't you loving life in Tampa Bay? Nothing like being defending Super Bowl champs, Stanley Cup champions, American League champions. This is Outkick. Join me every Sunday morning at 10. Let's talk our teams in the hottest sports market in the country. Never too early to talk Buccaneers or check in on all the teams in Tampa Bay. It will be your best hour of...
All right, enough of that. Ed, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, there we go. Now we got something going. All right, welcome to the evolution of sports talk television here, live on NSPN. I Love St. Pete. What do you have to say?
Never underestimate the Saints defense.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were banged up on offense, and they didn't have their head coach, but the Saints defense is for real, man. They are definitely a championship caliber defense. Their offense may not be there yet, but they got the defense, man.
Yeah, they definitely have the
on,
defense.
before
Yes.
the injuries,
Mm-hmm.
even before the injuries, they were muscling us. They were dominating our offense. Thank God for our defense. They were holding us into that game. Almost all the way to the end, and then I think they just finally got worn out. That's what happened there with them. But I had a really big feeling about this game that it wasn't going to be an easy walkover, even though we had advantages with them not having their coach there, them being beat up and having COVID issues or whatever.
Right.
I just think that they're just a really good franchise, man, and they're just going to be hard to beat. You got to come there and have everything go right to beat them.
Well,
and that's not what happened last night.
Well, look, and I understand where you're coming from with the domination, but you look at the numbers here, Harry and Ed. Hill and Taysom Hill, 13 for 27, 154. Callaway had over 100 receiving yards, but this Bucs defense shut down Alvin Kamara. The thing that was dominating, if you will, was the play of Cam Jordan against Tristan Wirfs. He had 2 sacks in this game, 4 sacks overall by this Saints defense. This offensive line struggled last night, and I think it's a combination of not only this defense being pretty good, and they always have the Bucs number, but also guys not getting open. When you lose Evans, when you lose Godwin, when you don't have Fournette and basically, no threat of the running game, and guys aren't beating their one-on-one matchups, that's what's going to happen. Is that how you see it, Harry?
Yes, I do actually, and I'd like to reach around if I can. Ed, can you help me get my arm around to my back and pat it for me? I gave everybody the under in the game, number one. Number two, I also said take Alvin Kamara, and I didn't give a damn what his total yards from the line of scrimmage were going to be, passing or running. Just bet the under. Let me put it to you this way. They could have played the game twice, and he still wouldn't have got the yards.
Sure. And that's the thing. At the end of the day, for me, I thought the defense had, basically carried the day. They kept this team in the game because offensively they did nothing. They didn't
create the turnovers, Peter.
Right.
They needed to give Tampa, who was struggling on offense mightily, a short field, and they never did it. They never gave them a short field.
Right.
That was the difference in the game. And you know what? I want to point out the elephant in the room. Now you guys are grinding my gears out there. Let's expand this for me, please, just for 1 second.
Sure, absolutely. Go for
Absolutely. In the fourth quarter, Tampa Bay, you decide to go for it on 4th and what? 4? Right?
4th and 4. Yeah.
You're losing 6-0. You're on New Orleans side of the field, just past the 50. You don't get it.
Field goal.
Hold on. You don't get it. Forget the field goal. But the very next drive, it's 4th and 1. And you're closer. You're further into New Orleans territory, but you punt the ball. Someone needs to explain this to me, why they allowed that to happen. And I'll tell you right now, Brady is not at fault in this game. That poor guy, 44-year-old quarterback, his pocket was no bigger than a phone booth.
Yeah.
That's it. And he had nobody to throw to. And last but not least, stop with the nonsense and the BS about Scotty Miller. Who's the other wide receiver, the backup?
Tyler Johnson. Yeah.
And Tyler Johnson. Trust me, you're not winning football games when you have those two guys on the field and you're missing Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, which, by the way, he's gone for the year. He ain't playing. That's it. He's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to know, Tampa Bay and the NFL, how much you like. Why is my mind just went blank?
Well, Antonio Brown.
Yeah. I want to know how much do people like Antonio Brown. Look, I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but God bless it, man.
I'm glad. I am so glad they didn't cut him.
Well, and I don't think there was ever.
They were never cutting him.
Never going to cut him. And even BA mentioned it, in the best interest of the team, things have changed. He went on and talked to reporters today about it, how things have changed. They've served their punishment. So at the end of the day, the reason why you got Antonio Brown, not only because he's talented, but because of the wide receiving injuries you had last year. Godwin had some injury issues. Mike Evans had some injury issues. And unfortunately, the breaking news of the day, if we didn't get to this, but Chris Godwin out with a torn ACL, excuse me. It was originally thought it was going to be an MCL, which would be, to the playoffs. So, Ed, your thoughts on that? Now go out to Harry, and then we'll get you out of here. How much of a loss is that, in your opinion?
It's a big loss, but it's not the end of the world because we still have AB coming back.
Right.
And we have Evans will probably be back soon too. So
sure.
And we still got Gronk, although Gronk didn't look too good last time. I think Gronk is still beat up, man.
Yeah, well, Gronk had one of his worst. Gronk had one of his worst games. That he had 3 drops in the game, and got to give credit to where credit is due. Malcolm Jenkins had his number, although there were some instances in this game, guys, where I thought the refs let them play a little bit too much. When you have an arm bar on Gronk, and I
had no problem with that.
You're not called. Well, I do. Because if you're going to call pass interference and you're impeding the guy's progress by having an arm and it's longer than 5,
they lost though. But.
It does not matter. It's the reason they lost. You have no idea what kind of plays those are. Call it the way it needs to be called. It's not an excuse. Go back to the film and study it. When a player like Jenkins has an arm bar over Gronk, and you're impeding his progress after the 5 yards, it needs to be called. If not, get rid of the damn rule. That's
the reason why I said I didn't have a problem with it, Peter, is because there has to be a human element to this game. The referee was behind him who didn't throw the flag. He couldn't see the arm bar. But what he could have seen was that the defender was not turning looking for the ball. That I'll give you. Forget the arm bar. There has to be a human element to the game. Look, I think they were letting these players hit. they were letting these players hit. It was refreshing to see a game as physical as this one. It's just as so unfortunate to see such devastating injuries, especially to Chris Godwin, for that to happen to. But there has to be a human element involved there. If you go to a replay, and if they could call it a penalty, they'll call it on every single one. You can't do it every single time. I understand where you're coming from, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the rule about it, and you're going to call it one way, call it the other. What now, Ed?
I just think it needs to be balanced. If you're going to call it on one team, you got to call it on the other.
Well, I get it. There's a human element to it, but look, if the NFL can't see it or they can't have officials out there that see the play, get more officials. I mean, it's just so easy at this point. You make it too complicated. That's the problem. You want to do it this way. You want to do it that way. You want to make everybody happy. Do it the right way, consistently across the board, or don't do your job at all and get out. Thanks a lot, Ed, for the call. Appreciate you as always. Go ahead and call back and use that second call if you want to.
I love it.
Me, Sador, I like it too. When you don't show the threat of a run, you really hinders your offensive line. Instead of pushing, they're catching and steering all night long. Tell you what, let's go out to Eric White. Eric, you have some. Turn down your phone, please. Eric, go ahead. Welcome to the Evolution. I'm doing good. I'm fired up. I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, man. So, I was just sitting here watching you guys. It was frustrating. I mean, especially like being there, it just seemed like for the life of me, I don't understand. I feel like this deja vu all over again. Not running the ball unless, and Peter, you and I talked about this after the game, unless they were bluffing, unless there was an injury that we didn't know about. Like, was Fournette hurt?
Yeah, Fournette went out of the game with a hamstring injury, so they had to call on Ronald Jones, the victim of volume. I had 8 carries for 63 yards. What I can't understand, and which was addressed today in the BA presser, is you take out Jones on third down, you put in Keyshawn Vaughn, you run him into a pile of 3rd and 1, and you get stuffed. And I get it. This team doesn't necessarily trust Jones when it comes to pass protection, but if he's your most effective running back and you take him out of the game and you limit his carries when you don't have Fournette, that does not make sense. Besides the fact, once again, you have no trust in Jones.
And Keyshawn Vaughn experience, that experiment's over. Okay, let's just go there right now. The guy is not a 3-down back. He's not going to be, and you put him in the most crucial time. Peter, you're right. Ronald Jones should have been in the game. I was questioning that move 100%. But the move that nobody, and I'd love to see the comments out there. People, if you're watching this, tell me, do you agree with the first 4th down and 4 that they went for it rather than punting, and then not giving up the field goal? The second one, they should have went for it. They decided to punt. Yeah. Sorry. That's the elephant in the room. Yeah. Now you're talking about a 1-possession game, Peter.
Yeah.
1-possession game is what you're talking about.
Right.
If they punt the ball, they don't get the field goal, more than likely. Tampa's defense was running.
Sure.
That's a good point. Yeah.
That second one, they should have did it.
What now, Eric?
We just seemed like we were out of rhythm across the board. No one seemed to have their hit in the game. Like,
Eric, hold on a sec. Let me put you on hold. Alex, go ahead and hold on. I'm gonna finish up with Eric, and then I'll come on to you. Stand by. All right. The phone lines are busy. I'm glad. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, just everyone was losing their mind. I mean, the fans, we sit right behind the Bucs bench there, and everybody was just losing their mind. There was no rhythm. We came in straight passing. I couldn't understand it. Same stuff as last season. And for the life of me, I don't understand. I don't understand how the Saints have us like this, and not just have us. It's such an anomaly. Think about how much of an anomaly it is for Tom Brady to have this record against the Saints that goes all the way back to New England. Well, I mean, this isn't just here.
Right.
We got beat last time by a 3rd-string quarterback. This time we're getting beat by a second-string quarterback and a 2nd-string head coach. I think Sean Payton was out, wasn't it?
Well, Sean Payton's out. You're absolutely right. And as I said in the pregame, Dennis Allen should get some head coaching consideration for the way he prepares this defense to shut down this explosive Buccaneer offense, which was very limited once again with the injuries. What I cannot fathom, guys.
4-man front, baby.
Right.
4-man front. That's all they use literally the entire night.
Right.
New Orleans showed the blitz.
Mm-hmm.
Rarely did they come with the blitz last night. They were getting, why would you blitz when you're constantly making the pocket this big
Mm-hmm.
by rushing 4? There's no need. You set people back and keep everything in front of you. And eventually, Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, they can't help himself. Everybody knows how critical I am about it. They are going to try to push that ball downfield when there's nobody there. And when you don't have arguably your 3 best offensive weapons on the field,
Yeah.
that's disaster.
Well,
shame on the Buccaneers, and someone needs to hold accountable to the head coaching staff in this.
well, not only that, but when you got 3rd and 2 or you got a manageable situation, why not run the ball? Why are you trying to throw the ball deep? You're trying to throw the ball to Jalen Darden on a situation.
That drove me crazy.
You're trying to throw You're trying to throw the ball to Gronkowski. I get it. You like the matchup, but why are you trying to throw deep when you basically can go middle or intermediate? And I saw on the play, Fournette was open for, maybe a split second at that point. You probably could have got it, but, Brady liked the matchup with Gronkowski on the outside, and it was not to be. So, and this goes back to last year, guys. We didn't necessarily like the play calling when it's 3rd and 2 to go deep. I would think you go short. At the end of the day, I'm not a play caller, but it just
isn't football about doing this? Hang on. Wait a minute.
Right. Correct. Right. Exactly. So you matriculate the ball down the field. You're trying to throw the ball deep.
Don't curse at me like that. Matriculate.
Yes, Leo word right there.
Hey, Eric, did I tell you this is the? Did I mention to you that the guy that's that's on the other side of the screen? Hey, man. This guy's an ESPN TikTok sensation now. He's viral, and I told him, don't worry, bro. They make a shot for this. Okay. I mean, don't worry. It's not going to fall off, Peter. Get it?
I'll tell you what's
we're going to hold him accountable on that.
Shut up!
Hey, that's the Rolex man right there. The rambling Rolex man, Peter Blake.
We will see if we can get the Rolex or not. Anything else, Eric, you got to get out to Alex.
Yeah, just real quick. So, Harry, on this game, what did you have going into it? And did you lay any money on this? What were you?
Yeah, I made a substantial wager on the under. I thought that was an absolute cinch because anytime that Vegas is trying to give you a line that looks way too obvious, you need to go the other way. 45 points. I mean, come on, guys. This is Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They put up 30 points a game. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Everybody wants to bet the over in that game. And I went, don't be too sure.
That's it.
I says New Orleans is only going to score 9 points in this game. I said they would get 3 field goals. Verifiable, go back to the tape. But never in a million years that I think that Tampa wasn't going to score. I broke even in the game, and also I had a proposition wager that Alvin Kamara, I bet the under. Receiving yards, running yards, and combined yards. So I did all right in the game, but I'd give it all up just to see that Buccaneer victory, to be honest with you.
I honestly agree with you on that. Eric,
when was the last time Brady? Well, I looked it up, and obviously I know in Tampa, so I had to look up the stat. When the last time was, or how many times Brady's been held to 0 points.
Back in 2007, I think. 250 some games.
255 games.
Apparently it's happened. It said 43 times in his career. I mean, he's been playing forever, but it's been a long time. But here's the silver lining. We all know this. There's no better Brady than a pissed Tom Brady.
Right.
So he is pissed. This same thing happened last year. We got swept by the Saints in the regular season. They can have the regular season.
Sure.
So we'll see a revitalized team here coming forward. Hopefully we can get healthy. The whole Chris Godwin thing breaks my heart. We were on the sidelines cheering him on as it counted down. He went into the game 15 short of the single season reception record.
Yeah.
And he got all the way down to 11. So he was just 11 shy. He was averaging 7.1 per game with 3 games left. He was going to smash the record. And the guy is an absolute stud. I mean, his will, even after everybody saw him flamingo his knee.
I'll have to agree with that.
Inverted. He was on the sideline. Still, I mean, he was really trying. He did not. Everybody was trying to get him to go. He didn't want to come off the field.
No.
And he stayed there for about 10, 15 minutes running routes, seeing if he could do it. So,
He's a tough-ass player, and it's going to be a disappointing loss, and he's an integral part of that offense with him being in the slot. You look at previous wide receivers that excelled, names like Larry Fitzgerald. I think Reggie Wayne was mentioned in that conversation. under a Bruce Arians offense. So it's not a surprise. So somebody's going to have to step up. It's going to have to be
AB's coming back, right?
Well, AB's coming back, but you have AB, you have Mike Evans that's hurt. So Tyler Johnson.
You better pray. You better pray.
And those guys right now have to step up. You hope that the Evans injury isn't serious, because if it is,
you got a lot of trouble if it is. This Bucs team's in trouble. If you don't have Evans, let me tell you this right now.
That's the whole reason that Chris Godwin was excelling, because he was getting double teamed and triple teamed. So
right.
Go ahead. Sorry, Harry.
What I'm trying to say is if you don't have Evans for any significant amount of time, and I don't want to hear, he's just going to miss the regular season and he'll be ready for playoffs. That's bad news. You have to have cohesiveness.
Different dynamic.
Yeah.
Because what I got to watch from Tyler Johnson yesterday. Okay, same thing with Keyshawn Vaughn. Here you go. Show him the door.
I mean,
sorry, guys. Sorry.
Perriman can step up. We all remember, and look, Perriman was a late bloomer. You know, he got drafted in the first round by the Ravens because he was a burner and he had that speed. And but you remember before he left Tampa and went and got his payday in New York. I think he had 3 or 4 games here in Tampa with Winston where he just absolutely balled out.
I got to interject here, and I'm going to interrupt you, and I'm really, really, really sorry. Brashard Perriman. He got paid in New York. That didn't end well for him. He didn't stick with the Jets. Then he went to the Bears. Are you kidding me? And he didn't stick there. Please, no Brashard Perriman talk.
Well,
please.
Not like he's Mike Evans.
He has the. We all know he has the potential to go off.
He has value.
He's got to be more consistent. Tyler Johnson's got to be more consistent because Johnson had some drops in this game.
I'll take Tyler Johnson over Brashard Perriman.
Well, I think
no, sir.
Look,
not in my opinion.
At the end of the day, you're going to have to depend on both players at this point because Mike Evans may be missing a couple games. And if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers,
Perriman hasn't been able to stick with the team, guys. There's a reason for it. The route running isn't there.
But I'll tell you this right now, Harry, his most success has been in BA's offense. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if he can work it in, and we'll see who's going to
hopefully, God willing. God willing.
I agree.
Well, with Tom Brady, you're talking about Brady here, right? So as long as Brady's back there, he's going to elevate everybody else.
Well,
so
not last night.
Not last night, brother. You keep giving him a phone booth to throw the ball from. It ain't going to make a difference if you have 20 number 1 wide receivers out there. The entire offense were nothing but wide receivers. He could not do a thing.
What's your insight in that? Tell me what your insight is on that. Because our line has been pretty stacked.
I think
was their defense that good?
Yes.
No. No, you want to know what it was? It's called Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich. Someone needs to take them out in the woodshed and beat their ass a couple hundred times with a switch, because it was a shame that you didn't put Max Protect inside of there and you keep Gronkowski on the right-hand side to stop Tristan Wirfs. Let me tell you something. Everybody's saying how Donovan Smith sucks. That wasn't the case. Donovan Smith had a really good game yesterday. It was the right side of the line that was giving up all the problems, and they never called any protection over to the right side. That is a coaching issue, Eric, nothing else.
And I tell you right now, it's also a play issue. It's also an execution issue with Tristan Wirfs not playing his best game last night. In fact, he was coming in. They're only giving up 1 pressure, but Cam Jordan took.
Boy, I'm getting fired up tonight, guys. How do you get me fired up like this, guys?
I love it. Eric, we got to run. We're going to go out to Alex. Use that second call if you want to. Thanks a lot for calling the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. Let's go out to Mr. Alex here. Alex, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek. What do you have to say?
What's going on, guys? I'm trying to take a deep breath after what was one of the worst performing games I have personally ever watched in my time.
Pretty bad.
Being a Bucs,
Pretty bad. Sunday night,
fan.
prime time, everything to win at that point. You can, not only win the NFC South, but you also have an opportunity to, stay on track for that number 1 seed. And you lose, and on top of it, you lose one of your biggest weapons in Chris Godwin. So your thoughts on this?
Vincent, talk about the bad.
What now?
First of all, I said before I talk about all the.
I think you're gonna have to Alex call back, because I think you're in a bad cell or something. I don't know why you keep on popping out of there. Right? Call me back. Let's go ahead and go out to these comments really quick here. I have a Rolex, says Harry the Greek. Misador says creepy.
That was the music. It's not creepy. Embrace it, Misador. Embrace it.
All right. Alex trying to call back here, so stand by, Alex. Keep on calling. We'll get you on. Shared, says Misador. Shooter here. Rob Rashut Says frustrating games. Sometimes you need to get smacked in the mouth before you go on a playoff run. Godwin being gone will hurt, but there are no shortage of playmakers. Luckily, the Saints are the only ones who seem to be able to handle our offensive linemen. And going back to it, you're exactly right. You don't understand why they don't make that adjustment, but usually Tristan Wirfs is pretty dependable. Last night, very ineffective. Let me go back to the Godwin situation. You saw the hit. Did you think that it was a little bit cheap? BA talked about that in that presser, and he said, look, there's players that are being hit in the head, but now because they've done so much safety rules on players not being hit in the head, now defensive players are going to start going for the knee. Should the NFL take a look at that and say, you know what, we need to do something about it? Or at the end of the day, it's just football?
No, listen, it's just football, guys. I mean, 15 years ago, that would have been a penalty. Now they don't want anybody getting hit in the heads. They want you to go lower. Look, it's football. Things like that's going to happen. If it would have been the other way around and it would have been one of the New Orleans wide receivers, in my opinion, everybody would be, oh, what a great hit. Oh, it was great. Look, it was unfortunate, okay? If his legs weren't planted the way they were, it never would have happened that way. Did he have to go that low to hit him? No, he didn't. Do I think it was malicious intent? In my own honest opinion, no, I don't think it was malicious intent. I just thought that New Orleans was hitting harder and they wanted that game more.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. Let's get this guy back on. Here we go. Ed, using your second call from Palm Harbor. Welcome back to the Sports Web here live on NSPN. I love St. Pete. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek. What do you have to say?
I don't know. I have so much to say that I might need 3 calls. I don't know. But
go
anyway,
for it.
I
go
love
for it,
that.
Ed. Go for it.
Back to our discussion earlier. So, Harry, so you didn't go with the over. See, I think I was confused last night because I thought you were talking about going with the over.
No.
They were going to score guaranteed 11 points, go with the 11 points.
I said to take New Orleans, not to take New Orleans. I said to take Tampa Bay and lay the wood. I thought that Tampa Bay wouldn't have any problem covering. I said that New Orleans wasn't going to score a lot of points and that I thought the game should go under.
Well, you were a genius there. You called it right to the letter there, man.
Well, listen, that's the reason why we get him on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's Harry the Greek here, professional handicapper extraordinaire, 1252 Chicago Sports. Come on now. That's why we got him on.
Yeah,
so what else?
He definitely called that one straight up. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I think that they need to look at the rules regarding DBs hitting the wide receivers.
Okay.
Because they changed the rules so that they wouldn't get hit in the head anymore. But now they're doing the only thing they can do and just going for the legs, and that's causing a lot of leg injuries.
Let's put flags on them. Then.
I mean that's the whole, that's the opposite effect, right? You're trying to protect the player from getting hit in the head. Well, where can he hit at this point? It's football at the end of the day. I get it. I didn't like the hit either, but it's a tough hit. It's tough to lose a Godwin for the whole year because of his impact on this offense. But if you start having rules like that, it becomes a situation where how can you hit a quarterback? The same rule. You can't hit him low. You can't hit him high. Where do you hit a quarterback at this point?
They're going to have to start looking at this more scientifically, I think, because I think what's happening here is that you're trading off a head injury versus a knee injury that could be the end of their career.
Right. Right.
And that's a big problem. That's going to be a big problem. But anyways, back to what Harry was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That the one time they were down there and they were in field goal range, I was like, why not kick the 3 points? Why not go ahead and take the field goal there? Then
or punt.
Less than a touchdown.
Well, Ryan Suckup missed a 45-yarder, which he should.
I said they needed to punt the ball. I'm sitting there right next to Peter.
Yeah.
I wanted them to punt the ball at that point because your defense was playing right. You're only losing 6-0. You remember that, Ed, correct?
Right.
There was a field goal missed? I must have missed.
Yeah, by Suckup. But Suckup missed a field goal. But right now they're only down 6-0. And when they went for it on the fourth, and I'm not going to say short because that was not short, okay? Right. That was like 4 yards, whatever the hell it was. They should have punted the ball from there. That would have been an extraordinary long field goal for him. My issue was simple. Why did the Buccaneers not go for it on the ensuing drive? I don't get it. I don't get it. And they were
don't
even
either.
further down. That was just that blew my mind. I'm
And it
sorry.
doesn't help, and you're on your way to the red zone. Tom Brady runs out. He's been successful with that, and then he fumbles the ball. And once again, it goes back to Cam Jordan getting after it and just wanting it more. And that's the reason why Cam Jordan has been a killer against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers throughout his career. So
100 career sacks, ladies and gentlemen. That's extraordinary.
Against the Bucs?
I'm not against the Bucs, but it seems
No.
like it. No, his whole career, Ed.
Yeah, and he's played. No, think about that. He's got 100 career sacks. He's been in the league since Peter's been alive. Okay, and the guy still plays with a motor. You know who he reminds me of, honestly, at this point in his career? Not his early part of his career. Reggie White. Tell me he doesn't. Tell me he doesn't have that type of motor, being as old as he is. I mean, that guy, he just flat out balls, Peter.
Yeah, he balls out, and he balled out last night versus Wolves, and that was disappointing. But he's done that throughout his career. And look, the Saints, they needed that win last night. They needed that win in order to stay in the playoff chase. They had everything going against them. Hats off to them. Credit to where credit is due. The Bucs have to play better, no matter if you have injuries or not, because it always goes back to this, right? You got to protect Tom Brady, and you can't turn over the ball. And they didn't do any of that last night. They didn't protect Tom Brady because he had 4 sacks by the Saints. And, of course, Jordan had 2 of them and a forced fumble. And then you turned over the ball last night with the fumble and, of course, the interception later on in the game, trying to force it to Scotty Miller, and it didn't help. So
May I add one thing?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. The 2 losses that the Buccaneers suffered to the Saints last year and including this year, this loss was unlike any other loss I've seen ever by a Tom Brady-led team, especially while he was here in Tampa. Let me explain to you what I mean. It's one thing to have an offense torch your defense, but when you have an opposing defense impose their will on Tampa's offense, you don't want to face this team a third time. Forget about, they beat them twice last year, and in the playoffs they rolled them. I didn't see this type of defensive effort on either one of those 2 games from the years prior. Okay? I just didn't.
Right.
This was something special that New Orleans did. I'm sorry if it's hurting people out there, and I'm really sorry if I'm stepping on some people's toes. You do not want to have to face this team in the playoffs, because that, my friend, is a scary, scary defense.
Well, it is a scary defense.
You're right. It is a scary defense. But with that being said, though, our defense, we're able to hold them to 9 points.
Right.
Yeah. So, you still lost.
You still lost the game,
yes,
but here's the thing. You have to think about.
You think Tom Brady's going to be held to 0 points every time
no.
they play them?
No, I do not. I think they'll make the necessary adjustments, and I think, if there's anything positive to take out of this game, every year the Bucs have won the Super Bowl, they have gotten swept by the Saints in the regular season.
Exactly.
So it's not over yet, but once again, it goes back to what we always talk about and what we've talked about through 2021. You have to get healthy on both sides of the ball, and now losing Godwin, there's a challenge there. So hopefully Mike Evans can come back before the playoffs, but most likely if you have to hold him out and get him ready for the playoffs, fine. Antonio Brown will see more catches. Hopefully he's in shape. Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller, Jalen Darden, guys like that got to step up. And if they don't, then the Bucs are going to most likely have a lower seeding. And then on top of it, they're going to be sitting at home because they're going to be.
Isn't Gio out now?
Gio's out too. Yeah, Gio, Fournette, so Jones and Keyshawn Vaughn. So, the injury bug has absolutely bit the Bucs right in the where this year.
So Gio's out for the season?
No, he's not out for the season.
No,
right?
He's not out for the season, but he's definitely hasn't had a lot of playing time this year to keep the guy fresh.
Right.
And then if he's going to miss a couple of games and bring him back in, that's a recipe for disaster, bro. That typically a running back that's missed that kind of time and then hasn't really been used the entire season.
Sure.
They get the oopsies and they coughs up. That's not a good thing.
Yeah. So we'll see how the injury situation works out. Go ahead, Ed.
I think the biggest thing that hurt us was Fournette, because Fournette has just been a Superman lately. He's been running the ball.
Yeah.
He's been catching the ball out of the backfield. He's got more catches probably than the wide receivers do. But, it is I'm not taking anything away from losing a Godwin. I mean, the guy's a special player. But I think I don't think this team's going anywhere without Fournette, honestly.
Well, I'm not ready to say that.
Why? Hold on. Why do you think that? They don't use them enough.
Because he blocks better than Rojo does.
Okay,
You're
but
gonna get Tom Brady killed.
But so does Cameron Brate. So does Gronkowski. They both block better than Fournette does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where the problem. You see, I broke this game down already today, and I watched it. They held very few plays, less than 15% of the plays that they ran.
Mm-hmm.
They held the tight ends back in there to block because they knew they weren't going to blitz. They were relying on Tampa's offensive line to block 4, and in some cases 3.
And that offensive line, guys, wait, hold on, Ed. And throughout the year, this offensive line has done a good job of doing that. And that
extraordinary job.
Right. It's done an extraordinary job in doing that. Last night, the Saints wanted him more. Defensively, they wanted him more. And then on top of it, when you do have those injuries, guys are not beating their one-on-one matchups. So no matter how much time you give Tom Brady, if those guys are not finding it open, it's called a coverage sack for a reason. If guys are not beating those one-on-one matchups, you have a problem. And that's why I go back to Gronkowski and the PI, because I saw that several times last night. And basically, the refs, turned their head and coughed. I also saw where New Orleans got a break where it was 0 on the clock and they should be called for too much time.
Absolutely.
Let them play. So those are the kind of things, those are the kind of calls that you have to make. And shame on the referees for missing that. But at the end of the day, the Saints were a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. That's not to say that the Bucs, the season's over with. You have to overcome injury. Guys have to step up. You got to play better. Offensive line has to play better. Tom Brady has to ply better. Those wide receivers and tight ends have to get more separation. And damn it, can we get after Taysom Hill? Can Taysom Hill, you got to get after the quarterback. They didn't do enough of that last night either. 1 sack by Levante David, not good. Ed, final thoughts.
Final thoughts are they did. I from what I saw, they were harassing him. Maybe not sacking him or knocking him down as much, but he was under duress. In fact, they took away his favorite side that he likes to run to, and that caused him problems too. So, and as far as Fournette's concerned, I don't know. I think Fournette is a bigger part of this offense than you guys may realize.
No, I don't think there's any denying that at that point. I really don't. I mean, I absolutely agree with you on that. He is a big part of this offense, but once again, people forget that Jones rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. I mean, nearly had 1,000 yards last year. He's been a productive back when he's been given the opportunity. Once again, does he catch the ball consistently enough? He's gotten better with it, but needs to continue with that progress. The pass blocking, that's a problem, and that's the reason why they take him out of the game. But they're going to have confidence, and if you don't have confidence and you have Keyshawn Vaughn in there, I just don't feel good about that situation. I feel like he should.
I don't like Keyshawn Vaughn either.
Well, I think I'm not ready to give up on Keyshawn Vaughn at this point because I don't think he's also been given the opportunities. And goes back to what Harry said. You have to make a commitment to the running game. And even with all that being said, Fournette, before he went out of the game, 9 carries for 34 yards. That's still not enough. You're throwing the ball 48 times. I get it. You have all these weapons and everything like that. But when you lose those weapons, you have to change your offense. You can't continue to be stubborn. That's the problem. Good stuff, Ed. Thanks a lot for the call. Man. Appreciate you. Let me go ahead and give it the woo right there. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons. All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We read this comment from Shooter here. Misador says, did Harry Berg just offer a reach around, spend too long on the north side? Very good. Troy Polamayu, been saying fire Leftwich. Right, Troy, fire everybody. Fire Leftwich, fire BA, fire everybody. You lost the game.
Calm down, because calm down.
Let's go.
He gets better.
Let's go. I tell you what, hold off on the call here, Alex. Troy, you say.
Hey, buddy, is that better?
Yes, it is. Hold on a minute. I'm going off on my rant. Let me tell you something, Troy. You never come to the party saying anything positive. In fact, you're a party pooper. Fire Leftwich, fire S&B, fire Carlton Davis. Get rid of everybody. Fire them all. They didn't win a Super Bowl last year. They're absolutely worthless. They're lucky. They've beaten no teams at all that are any good, according to you. Absolute bullshit. Now, Ed, go. Sick of this, man. I'm sick of some of you fans. You guys are lost in the sauce. You are spoiled little brats. Go.
Hey! What's up, man?
What's up, man?
I am trying to take like I said earlier, I'm trying to take a breath from one of the worst Buccaneer games I have personally ever watched.
Right.
Oh
Well,
my
I mean, again, and there you go. You got somebody honking at you in the background. When you lose Evans, you lose Godwin, you lose Fournette. I mean,
Jeez.
there's going to be some drop-off here, guys. I mean, it's amazing the reason why they're all pros and they're Pro Bowlers and they're great wide receivers. You're going to have some drop-off. Now, should you have done a better job of blocking a Cam Jordan and that Saints defense? Absolutely, you should have.
Hey, I want to start from the bad before. I want to start from the good things before I get to the bad things. I disagree with you on one thing you were talking about with that last guy.
Okay.
I think the defense played phenomenal.
I think the defense played well too.
I think Todd Bowles had a great plan, had a great game plan. He went out there, executed. I think they did phenomenal. Hats off to the defense. Hats off to Todd Bowles going in there and keeping them to 6 points. That is not why we lost this game.
Well,
let's get that part real quick. Straight real quick.
According to Troy Polamalu, you should fire Todd Bowles and fire Leftwich. And all Bucs fans right now are going to the Skyway Bridge to jump off of it.
I agree, but I am going to talk about.
Well, it could be worse. You could tell them like Fat Mike did. I just hope they shoot the tires off.
You
remember that one? That was a good one.
Yes. Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
But I want to start with the offense by starting with, of course, Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with a couple of things he's done in that game. Help me understand why 2 times on 3rd down and 2nd, we have a wide open Leonard Fournette. This was before he got hurt, and we're going deep ball. Why are we continuing to go deep ball? I noticed 2 times that game, 2 times yesterday, that we went deep ball on a 3rd and 2 or 1.
Correct.
Explain why. Why?
I don't have any explanation at this.
I got 4 words for it.
Sure, go for it.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 words. Risk it, no biscuit.
Right?
No, not on a game that close, Harry. If we were talking,
buddy, get used to it. I mean, are you seriously, Alex? I know you know football, but let's go back to the previous games against Kansas City from last year. Let's even talk about the New Orleans game. When one of the games were close at the halftime and they're losing by 6, and then they throw the ball 30 times in the second half in one of the games and ran the ball. You ready? Once.
Mm-hmm.
Once.
But Harry Linney's wide open on us. Oh my God, twice.
Yep.
Wide open, nobody there.
I saw it too.
I can't believe that. And the picks and the interceptions. He got lucky on the 1 interception from not picking. Some of this blame has to be on Brady, and I love the guy, and I know we all love the guy, and I know the Bucs have been phenomenal since he's been here, but he's got to own up to some of the things too. I have never seen a more pissed off Tom Brady than what I saw last night.
I will tell you this much. You want to know what happened to him? He had a phone booth. If he was thrown in a telephone booth, that would have been like a mansion compared to the spot that he had to throw from. Mm-hmm. The guy couldn't even step up into the pocket to scale it correctly. It was collapsed the whole time.
Horrible. Oh my God. That offensive line was absolutely horrendous. But I still think there's no reason why we couldn't come up with 1 touchdown.
I don't think that the O-line was horrendous, guys. Let me reiterate something. You need to give credit where credit is due. Mm-hmm. Okay? You got 5 people blocking 4. Whenever you have 4 people and even 3 on the defensive side, all of them trying to meet the quarterback, that ain't just the offensive line. That is a hungry defense. That was a team that came in here and said, "It ain't happening, guys." Tampa made no adjustments.
Hats off to Cameron Jordan, man. That dude was on fire. That dude wanted Tom Brady all night.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen a dude, getting through everything. That offensive line he wasn't being stopped.
Yeah.
So when it So as the game progressed, I think the injuries were unfortunate, but I still think there's absolutely no excuse why we couldn't come up with a field goal or a touchdown or something.
I'm going to keep saying it, guys. Just keep reading it.
Well, relax. I think there's a lot of frustration there because, again, at the end of the day, you expect them to score, at least a touchdown in this game. And, again, give credit to where credit is due.
Everything went wrong in that game.
Everything.
Even a missed field goal.
Alex, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Hang on, one more time. This is therapeutic. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Hey, man, I'm the Richard Simmons of Facebook today, buddy.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. You're the exercise guru here on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Alex, what else?
As far as the injuries go, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. Let's not.
Got to get ready for Carolina.
We're still 10. Look, what? We're 10-4. We're still a win away from winning the division. I think we're still in good hands, but we got to figure out how we can overcome the injuries.
Yep.
And I still think we have a chance. But I will say, we will have to face them again at some point. Am I correct?
We don't know that yet. We don't know.
It'll take a miracle for them to win. I'm going to make a prediction right now for you. Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't care who New Orleans plays next week. They're not winning.
Wow.
This was their biggest. I'm telling you right now, they are not winning their next game. I don't care if they play Detroit. This team will not win. This team gave $1 million. This was their Super Bowl. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Believe you me when I tell you this.
Sure.
I've seen this happen once too many times. Now I'm going to go back because I really studied what Tampa did, and I looked only at the defensive line, and this is for handicapping purposes. Tomorrow, when I go through the tape, now I'm going to break down the entire defense and what I think they did in their secondary. And I've seen some holes. Let me tell you something. New Orleans did an extraordinary job with their front four, even their front seven. But that secondary, trust me when I tell you this, it wasn't as good as what you've seen in that game. Okay? You go up against some healthy wide receivers, and they're going to get burned.
Yeah, they're going to get
badly.
But
I agree. But I gotta say, all things considered, I think on the defensive end, we did an absolutely phenomenal job.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Kept the Bucs in the game. Absolutely,
we kept the Bucs in the game, and kept the Bucs in the game and out of the end zone.
Refreshing.
Yes, it was, and you only gave up 154 passing yards. The running game was ineffective, but once again, you still lost. So you're going to have to figure this out on both sides of the ball, especially offensively with all the injuries.
So I'm hoping somehow we can overcome our injuries, and I think we'll be okay. I don't see this being a Super Bowl team. In my opinion, I'm entitled to my opinion.
Sure.
I love the Bucs.
Sure.
But I just, I'm grateful for us, being a 10-4 team and not being a 4-10 team.
Yep.
But
that's it. That's it. They could be
if we can get our guys back, I mean, healthy by the basically postseason, I think we'll be okay. But
listen, Tampa's not going to have any problem with Carolina next week.
No, I agree. I'm not worried about the Panthers, but I'm thinking long term. If we can get healthy, I think we have a shot. But I just think I don't think our defense is good enough to hold most teams.
I don't know because they haven't been healthy. I haven't seen a healthy unit all year long. There's been an injury. Yes, you have Carlton Davis out, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and then they're back healthy, and Jamel Dean is out. I want to see them
Richard
healthy.
Sherman's still out. Is he coming back? Is Richard Sherman coming back?
Who knows? He's got an Achilles injury. I doubt it. You didn't have Antoine Winfield yesterday. Whitehead has been hurt. Now you're going to get back Mike Edwards, so that should help the situation.
And don't forget, that's why I am so damn proud of this defense yesterday, because all things considered, all injuries considered, we still kept them in the game.
Yep.
And hats off to Todd Bowles, man. Everybody's saying fire the coaches.
Easy.
Maybe you need to be fired. Maybe you need to be fired.
Easy. They had one person to stop yesterday. One. They did their job.
I'm going to give him the Byron Leftwich. Here we go.
How about them Bucs, baby?
And I'll also give him the woo. Good stuff, Alex.
Wait. I'm going to say one more thing before I go. I'm going to say one more thing. But I wanted to end with this, and I'm going to. I just do not agree with his play calling. Byron Leftwich I don't hate the guy, but go to the Jags, man. Shit. I mean, they got a coaching job position open. Go to the Jags.
I agree with Alex.
Let's go back out to the phone lines. Alex, thanks a lot for the call. Appreciate you as always, my friend. Good stuff. Use that second phone call. Eric White, you're using your second phone call. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek from 1252 Chicago Sports.
Yeah, man. Hey, I just wanted to call back here, and I just went ahead and did it a couple times. So yeah, we need to start letting the viewers know, right? Look, if you're sitting there, if you're watching this, if you're engaging, if you have something to say, if you care enough to call in and let your voice be heard, make a point. Tip Peter, tip the show host. We are monetized. Go ahead and buy a star package. Put your money where your mouth is. All right, you could buy a package as low as 99 cents. You can do a custom sticker. You can pin your comment to the top of the page. All right, and help Peter. Go ahead and tip your show host if you enjoy the content, if you engage, if you watch, like, share, comment, all the above. Then help Peter out. Help us all out. And go ahead and buy a star package. You could buy one for like $5. Send them 50 stars at a time. It all helps. A lot of time, energy, and effort goes into making these shows. And to be able to be interactive for you people viewing, having the ability to be able to call in and get on air and let your voice be heard, that is not how it usually is. So this is something that's special, and this is going to continue to evolve and grow. And we appreciate everybody's support. Just let everybody know the stars are available. So let your voice be heard. Real quick, back to what the previous caller said. I heard somebody talking about Vaughn. Listen, Vaughn is not it. In my opinion, Vaughn is not it.
Okay.
I don't think he is. And if you don't have Fournette at 100% capacity, you don't have another option. If Giovanni Bernard is hurt, it's got to be Rojo. It's Rojo.
Well, it's Rojo, and again, it's Vaughn, and I'm not ready again to give up on a Vaughn. I get it; he doesn't look great, but I don't think once again he's been given the opportunity. He has a small body of work. I agree with you on that. They're definitely in trouble if Fournette has to miss an extended period of time because he's clearly stepped up and is their number one running back. But I still think Jones is capable. He's shown in his career he's capable. The one problem is, do the Bucs have enough confidence in him to be a pass protector? And I would say no, because you saw last night when they went on third down, they brought in Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, and I was reading somewhere, I was reading an article yesterday that was alluding to some sort of personal beef between Rojo and Bruce Arians. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
It wouldn't surprise me, though.
Right, it wouldn't, but I mean, again, it's all about...
Because he's not a good blocker, probably.
Well, I mean, I think that's what it's all about in this offense.
Man, he ain't a good blocker. He's not a good pass catcher. He's not good at this. He's not good at that. I'm so tired of hearing about it. Give him the ball.
Yes, give him the ball.
Give him the ball. Wait a minute. Give one of them the damn ball. Eric, you go behind the line of scrimmage and line up. Wouldn't you like to have 20 carries a game?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Do either of you off the top of your head know about what New England's defense was averaging holding on rushing? You know, how many rush yards per game were
New England?
New England has an extraordinary rush defense.
New Orleans.
New Orleans. No, they're stout, man. They are really stout. But Tampa did a formidable job on the ground. They just didn't utilize it enough. Like in 3rd and 2 situations. Peter, how many times in the 3rd and 2 I'm like, draw. Come on, draw, draw. What do? Drop back, try to throw an out pattern.
Yep.
How about the 4th down to throw it to Gronkowski in the out? What are you doing, man?
I don't understand.
They're rushing 4 and they're dropping 7. They're just dropping them. The whole middle of Tom Brady could have ran for a 1st down.
Yep. And here's the thing: the Bucs were 6 for 19 on 3rd downs. They were holding the Saints on offense 3 for 16. So it's not like the Saints were dominant offensively. And you shut down Kamara, you get everything you want. You hold Taysom Hill to only 154 passing yards. So once again, it's not like the defense played bad. It's just the fact the offense wasn't able to establish anything last night. It was a complete and total disaster on offense. And of course,
I agree.
Again, it just doesn't help when you lose weapons like Godwin and Evans and Fournette and guys that you're depending on. Yeah, can't get open. They got to be better. They got to play better. And they'll get the opportunity on Sunday versus Carolina. And look, I get it. The Bucs are a big-time favorite.
11-point favorites already. It's going to probably go to 12 and 13. Be careful. Do not bet this game yet.
Okay. And Harry knows about the betting. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if – I mean, we absolutely have the ability to sweep. Right, but obviously one game at a time. What do we have? Carolina twice, and then who's the?
Well, you got Carolina, you got the Jets in between. You got to go on the road and play the Jets, and they're going to give you this. Always goes back to what I said. The Bucs are Super Bowl champions. I know there's Bucs fans out there that are, having amnesia for that, but the Bucs are Super Bowl champions, and at the end of the day, they're going to get the best effort from that respected team on that week. So the Bucs can go out there and try to show up and play a half-ass game and get beat. We've seen it this year happen. You don't want to see it again. You want to win these next 3 games. You want to finish out the season 13-4, and you have the opportunity to do that with playing Carolina twice and the Jets in between.
And so far, and Peter, do you want to go ahead and Peter and Harry, do you want to elaborate a little bit on what's going on with this COVID outbreak? Because I know they rearranged a few games. So far, we are not affected, but I wonder how much of a role that will play, moving into the postseason.
I hope none. I hope it doesn't.
I think there's a lot of fans with all these injuries. I think there's a lot of people thinking maybe we do get a couple games rescheduled. But I mean, who knows?
If it continues to go that way, and I'll touch on that, if it does continue to go that way, the NFL is either going to have to decide, wait a minute, are we really worried about player safety, or is it really about the money? Well, you and I both know it's about the money. Okay,
sure.
Let's not kid people.
Sure.
However, they may add an extra week to give everybody, okay, the teams that are healthy, they can play here, but, we're going to extend it out an extra 5 or 7 days. Right. You could get an extra week. Now the NFL is going to make millions and millions of dollars. Look, Tampa hasn't been hit by the bug. I'm watching this game right now with Cleveland. I'm surprised they even still have enough players to field a team. Then the next game, the Chicago Bears, how about the entire secondary, guys, is out on COVID? They got 13 or 14 players out. Right. But they're having to play.
Well, and that's the problem with the National Football League. They want to be so stubborn and not miss any games or postpone games. But at the end of the day, that is the true effect of COVID. If somebody in that room gets it, then everybody in that room gets it. And thankfully, the Bucs have been able to beat COVID at this point. And hopefully you don't have somebody that gets it in one room, because then you lose multiple players at that position. And wide receiving position would be the worst thing that would happen at this point. Knock on wood. We'll see what happens. But
that's one of the reasons I thought AB could have potentially have been cut, because
you got to trust
the Bucs remember, they were the first organization that came out, the first franchise that said, we are totally vaccinated.
Sure.
And then that was their stamp of approval, trying to get ahead of the curve. Look, let's run this back, or as BA says, go for 2. Yeah. What was the quote? Run it back was the chief shit.
Right.
We're going for 2.
Going for 2.
So that was a blemish, on the record. But look, I mean, let's be honest here. We still have Tom Brady. We're still in it, barring Brady getting injured. Now, again, with that being said, if that phone booth that Brady's been operating in for, this last game, like Harry was talking about, continues to happen, it's not going to happen against the Panthers. But if for some reason it does, obviously that would be scary.
Oh, no. Something just came out. I'm going to read it. Can I?
Yeah, go for it. We got
Antonio Brown sends defiant message after returning to the Buccaneers by Gray Popke. You ready? Antonio Brown is back with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the team has clarified that he's not going anywhere. We already knew that. That clearly has him feeling bold, or at least on social media. Oh, boy. Brown, who has now served a 3-game suspension for using a fake vaccination card. Okay, it's also all about not paying your chef, but we won't get into that. Sent defiant tweet out Monday demanding respect. It says, "Put some respect on my name, all of y'all." Here you go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and see if you can read it. There you go.
Oh, God, he's got to get, I think that this is the one thing that we all talked about. Peter and I talked about it in depth, because when AD was first, obviously, when the news first broke that he was coming to Tampa, just like everybody else, we're like, oh, God. And because remember, I grew up a Raider fan. So I watched what he did watched what he did in Vegas. I mean, it was for the world to see on Hard Knocks what he
It's a
did.
disaster. It's a complete disaster.
Yeah, but you can't. You look, guys. You're talking about a Tom Brady-led team. This guy needs to shut his pie hole.
Right.
Well, do you remember? My whole point is last season, Brady had, because BA didn't want Antonio Brown. He said it openly. It was Brady that was playing GM. Brady was the one that said, you know what, I want this guy. And you know what, God damn it, I'm going to put my name on the line. I'm going to go so far, I'm going to move this guy in my house. Antonio Brown, he was his babysitter last year, okay?
Yeah.
And then so he won the Super Bowl. They re-signed him. And I think everybody was it was a collective gasp, like, oh God, what's going to happen? And I was hoping it didn't, but I had a feeling something could potentially happen this season. And look, now you're dealing with this shit. So, the last thing we need is a Antonio Brown that's running amok, that's gone rogue. But I don't think that with Brady at the helm that's going to happen. I think in a situation like this, you're going to have Brady that's going to take him to the side and say, look, get your shit together. And we know there's probably not many people that Antonio Brown will listen to, but we know Tom Brady is going to be that guy.
Well, and of course, and that's the reason why if you do have him in that locker room, that there's going to be accountability. But I don't think that comment is directed towards the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think actually it is more directed to the media personnel, namely a Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times. That's what I think. Yeah. Eric, we got to run. I'm going to read these comments here. Thanks a lot for the calls, man. We appreciate you. All right.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. There you go. Good stuff there. Let me go ahead and read these comments because we got a lot of them. We read that one. Been saying fire Leftwich. I already addressed that. Troy Polamalu, Leftwich is a terrible play caller. Troy Polamalu, so you're telling me the GOAT lost to a guy who's not even a quarterback. Shooter says they called that one pass interference on our guy, which was one of the weaker pass interference calls I've ever seen. Me Sador, they hit on Godwin, was 100% dirty. The defender striding downhill and clearly had the intent to go low. And again, this is what Harry BA addressed today, that maybe the NFL should look into it. But yeah, I think you're caught in a rock and a hard place at that point, because you have rules for defenseless wide receivers not hitting in the head. That's the reason that's the repercussion, if you will, of putting those safety rules into effect. If you can't hit high, then of course somebody's going to go low.
Look, he was hit a little low. Was it egregious? A little.
I mean, Tom Brady was upset with Dennis Allen. In fact, this was picked up by numerous outlets where he said, in so many words, or not so many words, go F yourself, because he thought that the defensive line was taking liberties with him. And maybe that was also with some of the wide receivers. And, some fans out there feel like, look, the Saints were coming into this game to hurt the Bucs. And who knows?
Listen, you know what? When you have it, you know what that game reminded me of? Almost. It reminded me of an old Bears-Raiders game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I remember back in 1983, I'm going to date myself here. Okay. I was a kid, just to let you know.
Right.
And Chicago were playing the Raiders. And by halftime, it was actually 1984. But anyway, by halftime, the Raiders had lost their first, second, and third string quarterback. At halftime, when they're coming out onto the field, the punter was going into the game, and you can see him visibly cursing out his coach, going, I ain't going in.
Sure.
I'm not going in. There's just no way. Look, if you're going to get hit in the mouth, you better make sure you hit back. And last night, I didn't see the Bucs hitting them back in the mouth, especially on the offensive side of it.
No.
You want to go low like that? You now start going low.
And I tell you right now, if those defensive linemen, which they seem like they were maybe taking some liberties with Tom Brady, if Ryan Jensen doesn't pick up a penalty or offensive lineman picks up a penalty, I'm okay with it, because that sends a message. And on top of it, it may give that team some momentum and fire them up a little bit. You didn't see that last night. It looks like they were going through the motions. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. The Saints have unleashed Psycho Tom. We shall see. Troy Polamalu, again, not worried about Evans. He's not an explosive receiver like Godwin and AB. I think he can be explosive. Again, he's possession, but he's deceptively quick, and he has been known to get deep. So I think you kind of, you lose track of that, Troy, and you kind of, negate what he can do. Here's a guy that had 7 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Nobody's had that in NFL history. So he's a little bit better. Right.
Oh, I love this comment. Gee, Peter, care to share what I talked about with yesterday?
Yeah, Harry's down on Johnson and Vaughn, but where's the outrage over no OJ Howard? I agree.
Hold on. What was I saying about that?
Where's OJ Howard at? But
I think our comment was, I think he's on a milk carton.
He is on a milk carton. So you're used to it at this point because he hasn't showed up this year and he hasn't made plays. And of course, I'm going to get on my soapbox and say, I wanted Dalvin Cook, and I don't care about drafting a running back in the first round. When you got a productive player like Cook at Florida State and he gives you everything he's got, I don't care about the trouble. Coach his ass up, get him in the starting lineup, and then you wouldn't have the running back situation you had when Jameis Winston was here. And now what you have? If you draft a running back.
Yep.
And there was a lot of media that said, you know what? You don't draft a running back in the first round. You can get him in the second round. Okay. Who did you get in the second round? Years later, you got Ronald Jones. But again, you got an opportunity to get a franchise running back instead of a tight end who's done very little.
Yep.
So it looks like he's a bust at this point. All right. Misador says, Perryman is a talent. However, he's a basket case. He's inconsistent.
I agree with that.
Inconsistent. Saints defense isn't that good. The Saints scheme is. Jay says, should the Bucs look at wide receiver and running back to help in free agency? I mean, who's out there, Jay? Adrian Peterson? Is that who you're suggesting? I mean, I don't know any names out there. You know any names out there? Running back or wide receiver, they're going to help this team right now.
No.
And BA was asked about it. He was asked, are we going to go outside or are you happy with what you have in the building? We're happy.
They have a running back. And you want to know something? He's a 3-down back. And his name is Ronald Jones.
I agree.
He's a 3-down back. Sorry, he doesn't catch the ball. I actually seen him catch a pass last night. It looked really, really good, too.
He did. And like I said, if you get this kid out in space, he can make things happen. We've seen it before. You just got to give him the opportunities. And that's why I came up with the victim of volume. And some of you stupid people out there, sorry, I'm just in one of these moods today. I should be on
Village idiots. Get it right.
Village idiots. Hello, village idiots. You just say, oh, well, let's give up on Ronald Jones altogether. Let's just give up on him. Let's give up on Ronald Jones. Yeah, give up on him. And then he goes to another team and you're crying like little baby back bitches out there saying, oh, we shouldn't have got rid of Ronald Jones. I mean, you can't have it both ways. 727-255. I'm not relaxed. I'm not Aaron Rodgers. 727-255-0391. Discount your double check your ass out of here with that. Right. Malcolm says, don't have the leg to lock from 52 yards out. He does. He's kicked before from there. Why did
Wait a minute. I can hear something. Don't you hear that?
What's
Someone
that?
just said something bad about Ryan Suckup. It'll take about T-minus 30 seconds, and Ray Kennedy will be in my door going, who was that guy?
Who was that?
Because that's Ray Kennedy's idol, bro. Come on. That's Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy's idol. You can't
and
talk bad about him.
Look, Ray, you're always welcome here on the sports web. You know, you are. Whether I don't care about that platform that says whatever you want. Okay, they're not a dictator. They're not your daddy. All right.
All right. Easy.
Yeah, I'm in the mood. Why did they hand off to Vaughn in 4th and short when Brady could have laid down for a first? Good question. David says, why throw up 40 yards on 3rd and 2? Why throw up 50 yards on 4th and 1? I agree. Completely agree with that. In fact, that's a good comment, and I'm going to fire the cannons for that.
David Murphy, baby.
Good stuff, David. Misador says Saints will not make the playoffs. They may not. But you know what? Their Super Bowl was last night, and they played like it. They played like more of a playoff team than the Bucs did. I get it. They have injuries, but you got to play better than that. Last time Saints scored just 9 on the Bucs was in 1998. The Bucs scored 3. Billy Joe Tolliver was the quarterback for the Saints. Was it that far back?
Yes.
Bucs defense held Kamara to under 20 yards rushing. Maybe Byron Leftwich's mind wasn't right with the Jags head coaching position on his mind. I mean, look, if that is what it is, that coaching job is god awful. I'm serious. I'll tell you what, let's go out to Mr. Misador. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. You're on with yours truly, along with Mr. Harry the Greek, 1252 Sports.
What is going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Your thoughts on this game last night?
Oh, man. You know, I had a bad feeling after the very first potential interception Brady threw.
Mm-hmm.
That ball just looked lackadaisical. I know he doesn't play that way all the time, but that ball just fluttered for me a little bit.
Right. First
I
pass
told
of the
my
game.
wife,
Very fortunate that Lattimore didn't have an interception on it. I agree.
It was a great defensive play by Tyler Johnson.
Right. Well, even better, look, even better play by Lattimore because he jumped the route. You're exactly right. And you're like, oh, no, here we go again. Except this time it's with Brady. So.
But the issue that the Bucs have with the Saints is the Saints run a lot of Texas stunts that they don't see all the time.
Texas stunts. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead and expound on that. I know what you're talking about, but go ahead to the fans.
You're going to take your defensive end or your outside edge.
Okay.
And loop him back inside the tackle.
Sure.
That's true.
And you're going to get an inexperienced guard or an inexperienced lineman leaning, and then you have an open alley.
Mm-hmm.
On, can't think, Hayward's first sack. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. Absolutely.
Kappa. It was Kappa.
Yeah, Peter, you even made the comment about it. Where was Kappa? Why wasn't he in his position?
The whole right side last night was very ineffective, and that's hard to say because that has been their strong point. It's always either Donovan Smith or, believe it or not, Ali Marpet. But last night it was Tristan Wirfs and it was Alex Kappa. And again, you've got to play better. I don't care if you're playing the Saints or the Panthers. You got to protect Tom Brady. And if you don't protect Tom Brady, bad things are going to happen because he's not a mobile quarterback. Ask BA about it. In fact, he said in so many words, I'm done with that shit. And I am cursing today like a sailor, and I don't care. Go for it.
I've heard it.
Hang on, let me see. That's Fat Mike there? No, okay.
No, I don't curse like that there, genius. Yeah, I got this for you right here.
Shut up!
So, yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
There, Peter.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? It's really bad. That's what happens when you go viral, by the way.
Whatever. You know what? Your whole viral thing, this is what you get. Viral this. Viral this. All right, go ahead, me.
Harry, he's big timing you right now, man.
He is, man. I'm telling you, that's Peter Blake. On my show, the over-under on 1252, I'm going to have to start announcing him as Rolex Pete.
Rolex Pete. All right. Well, I don't have the Rolex yet. I don't have it yet, but it may be time to get one. Go ahead, me.
So Minnesota releases Breland this week.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Veteran corner.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Definitely is an attitude issue. Definitely lashed out against his coaches. But why are we not on the phone right now?
Again, I think they're happy with what they have. Me and you've been you've been a very big time critic, and I respect your opinion on this. You felt like they shouldn't have drafted a Kyle Trask in the second round because he's not going to contribute to this team.
I agree.
And look, right?
Ever.
Well, I'm not going to say ever.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. He's going to be your starting quarterback, but
eventually,
I don't. And again, here I'm really going to throw a little gasoline on the fire.
Go for it.
This is Tom Brady's last year, guys. Just letting you know that.
Really?
I'm thoroughly convinced of this.
I'm not going to say that yet.
I am hoping to God that they win a Super Bowl. He's going to go out on top the whole 9 yards. Look, the Buccaneers have some serious decisions to make right now. They have two assistant coaches, offensive coordinator and Byron Leftwich and Todd Bowles. One of them, I think, is way overrated. Everybody knows which one I'm talking about. He will have a head coaching job. But if, in fact, that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually have it earmarked for Byron Leftwich to run this team, that pushes a certain individual out the door. I'm just saying. Okay, so if either one of these coordinators are going to be the head coach of this football team, they're going to have to make that move next year, and that is why Brady will play in his last year. That's just my opinion. One of them will be the head coach of this team next year.
I say we'll see what happens at this point because I never rule out Brady.
And I'd love Misador's opinion on that. He hasn't heard that perspective from an outsider looking in. What do you think of that, me?
I honestly feel the same way, and let me put this into perspective for you.
Mm-hmm.
Byron Leftwich has never even entertained any offers, any ideas of him head coaching.
Yep.
Till this year.
Well,
there's got to be something there.
Well, I mean, they're
Go Go ahead, Peter. I'm sorry.
No. You said it best. I mean, they made Todd Bowles assistant to head coach,
Assistant head coach.
Right. But my point has always been, look, BA went to the Glazers, and when everybody was making a big stink about BA, not making the play calls as an offensive coordinator, he went to the Glazers and he vouched for Byron Leftwich. I'm not sure if this organization wants to let a hot assistant like Leftwich get out the door, much like a Mike Tomlin. Although
that's why I said this could be the last year for BA.
It's possible. I guess that's possible.
BA is tied at the hip with Brady.
I think they're all tied together. You're exactly right. I think BA and Tom Brady, and of course, if you're coach of the Bucs, you want Tom Brady at the controls. But if you're not, I'm not sure BA would want to go through another rebuilding effort with Trask. I think you're exactly right.
So let me paint this scenario for you.
Sure.
And I'll shut up about. I didn't bring Kyle Trask up on your show. You brought him up. I beat him like a dead horse.
Me? You know what?
Anyway,
You have.
I'm the guy that thinks they never should have got rid of Josh Rosen, but that's okay.
Let me go full screen. Would you shut up and be quiet? Stop starting trouble here. On this show, I don't care what you bring up. I am never going to ban you from the show. Are we going to get into a little bit of an argument? Maybe, but that is a friendly debate. At the end of the night, end of the day, we're going to be friends. So there is nothing that limits you from talking about what you want to talk about. Just respect everybody, myself included, along with all the guests on this show. All right, I'm done with that. Now go for it, me.
100%.
Okay.
But anyway.
Yes.
Well, you look at it, right? So BA's gone. If Brady's gone, BA's gone. You got Kyle Trask, a quarterback that isn't drafted by your head coach. Because if Leftwich goes this year, Bowles isn't going to be the offensive coordinator that's building that offense.
Correct.
That's going to go to a new young gun.
Correct.
You think you're going to bring someone in to coach someone that has no NFL experience, that has no game situation, that is not prepared?
That's why
Trask has not dressed a single game this year.
Right. And that's why I think Byron Leftwich will be your next coach, because of that quarterback offensive coordinator development. And I know a lot of people snicker about it, and they find that Leftwich, he has very questionable play calling, and we've gone through it on those manageable third down situations. I mean, that's the craziest thing that comes down to it here. So
I promise you this. If Kyle Trask starts a game for the Bucs, a meaningful game for the Bucs, within the next year, I will buy a Kyle Trask jersey and wear it proudly 3 days in a row. It's not going to happen.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you guys hear me okay? I was having a problem with my audio. Can you hear me by chance? Me?
I can hear you.
All right, good deal. Yeah, I have to agree with you, me. I mean, it's no one's really going to.
I'm sorry about that, but my dog just decided to come into my door, somehow came into the door and said, "Look, you idiot, you left me outside, so put me in the cage." So I had to run out there, grab Alexander really quick. Welcome back.
Now, did Alexander go out and get you a really nice-looking girl to come say, "I think you lost your dog, mister"?
I tell you right now, he did this a couple of weeks ago. In fact,
I know he did.
He was running around the neighborhood. He went back and forth. I wanted to kill him. And then all of a sudden, there was an attractive woman that he brought in from with a female dog with her, and everything was okay. So go ahead, me. I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean to be rude to you guys.
You're good, mother.
All right.
All I was saying was if Kyle Trask, like I said, if he starts one full game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, within the next year, I will don a Kyle Trask jersey 3 days in a row, and they will be on my show for sure, at least one of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There is no way. No way.
We'll see. I think you may be pretty good with that bet, and I know how you feel about it. But I also think the Bucs had a good situation coming in. They like Carlton Davis. He's a free agent. They like Sean Murphy-Bunting. They like Jamel Dean. All these guys being young and being highly drafted. They like how that has worked out for them. So they didn't feel like there was a need. There really was a need in the second round to go after a corner. I would just say this. I don't hear a lot about second round corners. Somebody just mentioned this when going out into free agency. You have Le'Veon Bell. You have Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, guys, me, and you can comment on this too, Harry. I would like, do you feel like the Bucs may go out and get a Larry Fitzgerald at the wide receiving position? Is it too late to get those guys? Le'Veon Bell, the greatness of Le'Veon Bell.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'd rather have Le'Veon Bell. I still think that honestly, I still think he's got mileage on the tires.
I don't know.
But then again, they're going to use him about as much as they use Gio. I mean, let's be real. So yes, I'm going to say Larry Fitzgerald. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's too late in the game. And then on top, you bring in these new players, and
you got playbooks to learn. The whole
and it's a complicated system. We heard that last year from offensive players like Rob Gronkowski. He didn't really become comfortable until the second year. So, go ahead and finish up, and we'll read the comments and get you out of here. Go ahead.
Right on. All I was going to say is if I were to go receiver, I'd have to be a taller receiver.
Okay.
I wouldn't go under 6'1", 6'2". You're going to need someone in the end zone. You lose Mike Evans, I mean, that hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
You can replace Godwin's hands, but you can't replace what he does.
Sure.
In addition to that,
Agree.
But you're never going to replace Evans in the red zone.
Agree. And we'll have to see how that injury works out. Already, it's a hamstring injury. We know the history of Evans and hamstring injuries. It's not good. So there could be an extended period of time. And look, I would not be surprised if they hold out Mike Evans to the start of the playoffs. And again, that's why it's so important, guys, to have that number 1 seed, because you get that bye week. If not, if you finish up second or you finish up third, you get a home game, but you're going to have to play in that wild card round, and anything can happen. So you would like to have that rest in that first round bye. And look, it may not happen now, because you're going to have to contend with not only Green Bay, which could have lost that game yesterday if
should have lost it.
Right. John Harbaugh would have had a better call at that point, because actually the player was open in the end zone. He went to the wrong side. That would be Huntley, the backup. And you have to contend with the Dallas Cowboys. As crazy as that sounds, they're the number 2 seed. The Bucs are number 3. So
nobody's talking about the Rams.
Nope, nobody is talking about the Rams, and I'll continue not to talk about the Rams because the inconsistencies of Matt Stafford. I don't buy him as a quarterback. Misador, let me go ahead and get you out of here. We got another call here. I don't know who this is, but thanks a lot for the call on the evolution of sports talk television. All right.
All right, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. I don't know who this is. Welcome to the evolution. Your name and where you calling from? Okay.
That was that bill collector. That was the guy trying to give you your Rolex.
Right. That's not who it was at all. You idiot. We're on the Sports Web live on NSPN. I love St. Pete. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Harry the Greek, 1252 Chicago Sports. He's calling in again. So
let me give it a shot for you.
Yes, go ahead. Welcome to the Sports Web.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Welcome to the Sports Web.
How's it going?
How are you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Marcos calling from Miami.
Okay, Marcos, what do you have to say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or do you want to talk about something else?
No, I was looking at something else.
All right, what do you want to talk about?
Thanks for calling the 1-900 number. My name is Harry. How are you?
Would you shut up and be quiet? Shut up! You're calling a sports talk show. You know that, right? So what do you want to talk about, Marcos?
I was looking to call out Peter.
This is Peter.
Marcos, Jake Paul's assistant.
Oh, are you serious?
Told you.
Wait, is this live right now?
This is live right now. This is crazy.
This
is crazy. Yes, it is.
Told you.
Wow. Okay,
Sorry.
so welcome to the evolution. I swear to God, we did not plan this, but of course the story was about the Rolex situation. Jake Paul, I interviewed him, asked him a question about Rolexes being given to fighters. And he said, you know what? Do you want one? And I said, yeah, sure. Not thinking he was going to do that. So
that's crazy. I just got your contact from Nikisa, Jake's manager.
Okay.
I wanted to follow up. So we have Rolex ready to go. And I was calling you to contact you what the best shipping address was. So whenever you get the chance.
I'll tell you what, Peter, why don't you go ahead and take that, make me full screen, pull yourself out. I'll go ahead and talk to the audience. It'll take you less than a minute. And I think that's awesome.
I think it is awesome too. Thank you very much for calling. Let me go ahead and get to you. Harry, let me go full screen here. Stand by, guys. Here we go.
I would love to be able to read some of the comments, but I got to tell you, man, you did make a valid point. I have not been a huge Kyle Trask fan. Okay. I did like him coming out of the University of Florida because God only knows there's only two college teams that are ever made. There were the Florida Gators and the Florida Gators. You see, I could say that because Pete's a Seminole fan, and I know it's going to drive him crazy. But no, let's analyze this. Can the guy be a good quarterback in the National Football League? I think so. I really do. He's not going to be a barn burner. I think he's going to be a product of whatever environment he's going to be in. And what better teacher could he possibly have than sitting back watching the GOAT himself week in and week out? I mean, the guy basically holds his clipboard for him. He gets to see his mannerisms in the game, and you never know what's going to happen, and he may actually get some garbage time playing. But it's probably not going to happen this year. And I'll tell you another thing. Even if I was correct that this is going to be Bruce Arians last year or even Tom Brady's last year, I still don't think that they hand the keys to the Cadillac to Kyle Trask. I don't. Okay. I still think they have other options that are out there. You have other quarterbacks that are going to be free agents that they'll be able to bring in. But that doesn't mean he won't be ready eventually. You just don't give the keys to the Cadillac. And let me tell you something. This is a Cadillac of a team when they're fully healthy. Defensively, they had the injury bug. Now they're getting healthier. Offensively, this team has really got the injury bug, and it's kind of scary. And Antonio Brown, I'll tell you what, they better keep signing him because he is the best player on this offense, bar none. And I would love to hear what your opinion is. I can't even read the comments, because everything's sitting on the right over here. I have no access to it. I don't even have someone to talk to. So I guess I could just sit here and look like Mickey the Dunce. But I'll tell you what I did cook for dinner, though. I cooked a really nice turkey, and it's a great breast. It's sitting right over there, and it's got my name on it with string beans and a whole bunch of food. And if Peter doesn't get back here soon and get me off, I'm going to literally drive over to his house and just strangulate him and then take his Rolex because I deserve that Rolex. Oh, Lord, what a frustrating weekend it was. I didn't pick all that great. I had a couple of really, really good games. I did pick the under in the Tampa game. I thought that was an absolute cinch, to be honest with you. But I never envisioned that this game would be as low scoring as it was. As a matter of fact, scored no points. Absolutely 0 points. It just totally blew my mind. I just don't understand how that actually happened. Peter, you off the phone yet?
Yes, I am, and we have an update on the Rolex situation. I have given out my address. That was the real deal.
As I'm telling them, thanks for calling the 1-900 line.
I'll tell you right now, and that watch is going to be sent out any day now, and he's going to email me with the tracking information. So this is absolutely unbelievable.
Congratulations. Did they tell you if it was a presidential series?
They did. I didn't even ask, to tell you the truth. I am blown away by it. TJ Reeves of Big Fight Weekend. And I wanted to tell this story. I wanted you to be on with me. And I want people to understand that at the time, it wasn't even credentialed with Showtime. I actually had to wait. TJ had to pull some strings. Showtime came out. They credentialed me. Wasn't even sure if we were going to be able to get on because Wi-Fi was not connecting to the computer. TJ gave out the hotspot, and we were able to do that. And I am completely blown away. I had no idea that Jake Paul was going to do this. It's completely amazing at this point. I'm just caught in the moment, and I just wanted to say out there to anybody, look, you gotta, if you're prepared for something and you invest in yourself, you really do. And I want to go full screen on this. If you invest in yourself and you invest in the idea that you are a great sports broadcaster. And I get it. You can invest in equipment, but you have to invest in the idea of that. And if you can invest in that and you put everything together, anything is possible. So I'm just completely blown away by it. I had no idea. And it was so funny. You were talking about it. You were saying that could be Jake Paul's people. You were exactly right. You were doing the 1-900 number. So that Rolex is coming. He is a man of his word. And when it does, I was also talking to him about trying to get Jake Paul on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Your thoughts?
Actually, I think he'd actually would do that because I'll tell you why. I mean, it's just, look, I thought it was a really noble cause for him to do that. I mean, look, a lot of people have different opinions. Would I have taken the Rolex? Yep.
Right.
Yep. Absolutely. First off, and don't go there. Hold on.
Right.
There's always going to be people that are going to hate. It's called jealousy, Pete. Okay. Last year, look, I'm not picking like I did last year. I'm still hovering upper 60s and low 70s, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Sure.
Look, a successful handicapper is over 55%. Okay. Just over 55%. 60, it's something else. You get in the upper 60s and in the 70s, it's an anomaly. I picked 88% last year. Do you know how many people want to rub my name in the dirt or to even discredit what I did last year? Oh, that's impossible. Let me tell you something. You always strike when the iron's hot, and if someone's holding something out for you, hold your hand open and say thank you. Congratulations. It couldn't have happened to a better guy. I love you, brother. Now get the hell off this program. Get in your car. There's a game coming up, and I got a whole shitload of food over here I want to eat, okay?
All right.
Forget it. And you know what? I'm going to sit on here, read these comments, and let's get out of here.
All right, let's read these comments.
Congratulations on the Rolex.
And to me, it's not just thank you very much. It's not just about the Rolex. It's about doing what you love. And Jake,
I know
it's a great interview. But look,
it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely awesome. It's a surreal moment for me, and to I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm kind of.
I know what to say. Hallelujah, baby! That was awesome. Now that's a Victory Monday. Let's read these. Let's go.
Let's read the comments. All right, Mike Evans, week to week, I'd hold him, let him hill. We play the Jets and the Panthers. Me, Sador, Lenny will be back. Jay says we have Barner. 2, he can run a little bit. That guy we have on practice squad play for the Chiefs. He can put up yards too. Me, Sador, the Saints scheme, Trump BAs hands down. Eric White. For all you watching, if you enjoy, you talked about that with the Stars, so we'll get more information on that. Appreciate you, Eric, as always. Why aren't the Bucs running more plays out of the 3 tight end formation? They have the 3 pretty good tight ends, right? This would help the running game while still giving plenty of pass options. It's a great point. Maybe they start to do that just a little bit there. Let's see. Tip Peter by purchasing a star package. Send your comment with a custom sticker or pin it to the top of the page as low as 99 cents. Phil Haney says, preach. David says the Bucs average 5.6 yards per rush. But like Harry said, and like I've said before, they don't do enough of it, and they need to. New Orleans is a number 1 in run defense, I believe. Roger Shue says, tell me I was right, Pete. I told you the Bucs would lose that game. You always say the Bucs are going to lose, and this is what you get. You were right in this case, but you know what? A squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, I guess. Jay says Saints are 6th in run defense. I take my precious comment back. I actually thought they were number 1 coming in. So
I thought they were top 5, so I was wrong.
The whole Vax card fiasco was total BS. It was a hit job by a disgruntled employee, and I'd be shocked if those were the only 2 guys with the suspect credentials. Agree with you.
I agree with them on that too. This wouldn't even be an issue, guys. Pay your chef, okay?
Pay your chef. Pay your guy.
Just pay your chef, man. Just pay your people.
Do
you like to go to work and not get paid? I'm asking you a question, Peter. Okay,
no.
I don't like to go to work and not get paid either.
Right, exactly. And
so send me some stars, God bless it. Come on,
yes,
I'm kidding.
Stars out to us right here, as we just talked to somebody giving me a Rolex. I only in America. I gotta love it. Reminded me of Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard.
I love this country.
As soon as I come back, Bucs fans will be talking how great I am. Okay, there, Antonio Brown, Misador, Frank Gore. It didn't look too good in that boxing ring the other night. Took a couple of shots. The Saints hate us and play like it. We dislike them, play like it. Big difference. We need to view our games against New Orleans as war. From here, go Bucs. I'll go ahead and fire the cannons for that. I like that comment, and I'll give him a woo. Also give the stash here of Phil Haney. Lefty must get the running backs more involved in the offense. I agree with that. I'll give him the Byron.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yeah, how about them? Eric White says, okay, we read that already. Thank you very much, Eric Troy. Let's let him have it, says Stash there of Shooter and Stash. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I'm negotiating a contract with Ray Kennedy to bring him to NSPN. Well, congratulations for that. In fact, I'll fire the cannons for that. I don't believe you, but I think it was a good comment. The Bucs averaged 5.6 yards per rush and lost 9-0. How does that happen?
Because you didn't run the ball enough, but never mind. It's another show. I'm hungry.
Yes, we need a corner like Joe Hayden, a real playmaker, unlike Bunting, who always is getting smoked. Let's see here. Eric White says, I say Calvin Johnson. He's retired. Nice try. Is Calvin Johnson signable, or do the Lions still own his contract? He's not played in the league in a long time. Harry Berg laughed my ass off. Oh, my God. Troy Polamalu. Sir Marcos, Jake Paul also told me he would give me a Mercedes, and I'll give you this right here.
Shut up!
Byron says, if there were ever a time Ronald Jones needed to show up, the time is now. Agree with that.
Woo!
And I'll give you a Byron Leftwich.
How about them Bucs, baby?
All right, Peter, while you're talking to the Rolex dude, me and Harry were talking about how horrible Leftwich is. Is that true?
No, not at all. I was talking about the turkey I cooked, and I'm starving. That's what I'm talking about. You get Rolex watches, and I eat turkeys. Come on.
Gets paid in Rolex watches. Laugh out loud. Go ahead and promote yourself as we get out of here on this unbelievable night.
Listen, let me tell you something. Thank you so much for having me on. Let me tell you something. He's right. Be thankful for the things that you have. It's Christmas, guys, or the holidays, whatever you guys want to say. But you know what? I'm an all-American guy. I'm going to say Merry Christmas to everybody if I don't get a chance to talk to anybody. Appreciate you having me on. Congratulations on the Rolex watch. Very well deserved, Mr. Peter Blake, even though you don't know. Never mind. I'm not going to say that. But anyway, we'll see you in a little while. You can catch me on the over-under on 1252 Sports Chicago, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. And we might be doing a Christmas Eve show. There's a very strong possibility, so be very, very, very careful.
I think we should go early. I think we should definitely go early.
And we're going to go early. And as I always say, Peter, keep your bets low and your returns high. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, giving you something to what? Think about. Talk to you later.
All right, there you go. Harry the Greek, 1252 Sports of Chicago, professional handicapper extraordinaire. I just want to say once again, thank you very much for all the support, as always, for the show and for the love for me. Once again, it's so surreal you'll be told by family members, hey, you went viral on TikTok through ESPN, because I've always wanted to work for one of those national companies like ESPN and Fox Sports. And I try to treat every show as if you are watching it on a national network. So thanks a lot for your support. Your support is what makes it possible. And at the end of the day, whether I'm getting a Rolex watch or not, I get the opportunity to do the evolution of sports talk television, something that I truly love. Thank you very much for that opportunity. Every given night here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Let me do 3 things, guys. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Getting a Rolex. Have a great night.
Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.